back and forth between them and the police. But I think the general understanding of all Ghanaians at this time is that the police has no right to stop anybody from demonstrating. People intending to demonstrate only need to notify the police. And according to the group, they notify the police 10 days prior, as of yesterday. And the police had told them 3 days to the date yesterday that the demonstration was cancelled. The police had no mandate to cancel any demonstration. So that's the first point of, discrepancy. Then we come to the behavior or the mood of the group. I would think that yesterday I saw some footages on TV, to be precise, multimedia, where at some place, I'm not too sure where, some of the demonstrators were seen sitting on the ground. I cannot tell whether they were sitting on the ground, on a street, or whatever it is. I see that said, the fact that a group is disrupting traffic or the free flow of people and vehicles and so on wouldn't necessarily mean that the police has the right, to use water cannons and rubber bullets and so on. Then there is the other segment of this case that somewhere around between the Canadian High Commission and that overpass,
right,
they had been stopped from proceeding further towards the Jubilee House.
Yes.
And this morning I heard the Deputy Chief of Staff, indicating that indeed he was ready to receive the group. So we need to ask, is there an agreed procedure as of now that groups wanting to present a petition to the President or to Jubilee House, can indeed approach the Jubilee House? Or is it the police that determines that because they don't have any information as to arrangements for them to hand over the petition, they're going to stop them? All said and done, I would think that the degree of the force was unnecessary. It wasn't appropriate, and I don't think it was reasonable, including the way and manner in which some of them were arrested and sent to the police station, I think, released this morning or whatever it is.
Yeah, but
the statement that came on Twitter that all of us have also seen.
But Colonel, how much of a dent does this put on the already troubled public image of the Ghana Police Service? Because we know the current acting IGP has been pushing in the last few days to at least bring some recreate the image of the police so we appreciate them better. But from yesterday's event, does that further deepen the scar of the police in the eyes of the public?
Well, the situation or the evidence from the situation as of yesterday would suggest that there is a gap between pronouncements of the leadership and the conduct of police activities on the ground. So yes, the new IGP had said that the police were going to be professional and so on and so forth. It does appear that whether through training or through change in attitude and so on, the men and women in the police on the ground probably have not changed their attitudes and our mindsets. And until we begin, when I say we begin, the police begins to allow the public to demonstrate peacefully. We're going to have this cycle of, violence by the state against, innocent civilians. There was nothing I saw on TV that would suggest that the group was very violent to the extent that they were destroying property. You know what I'm saying? Which would have warranted the use of rubber bullets and so on. But to steer a group away from the direction that they are intending to move wouldn't need the use of rubber bullets. Rubber bullets are lethal as live rounds.
Yeah.
It only depends on where it hits the body. If it hits your eye, it's as dangerous as a lethal weapon going through, your eye socket or something like that.
Yeah.
But the water cannons, I think, will be normal practice. Try and disrupt the movement and so on. Even that, the teaching is that the police must have a plan as to the direction in which they want to channel the group, and not to scatter them, helter-skelter, creating probably more panic, in which case there could be more injuries.
My last question to you would have to do with, so what can be done in this instance to officers who may have undertaken this, this act yesterday? Are there punishments, for instance, if they are seen? And what evidence would people put? Is it just the videos we've seen on social media that would be used? Or maybe the person that deployed them is the one that must be dealt with?
Well, institutionally, there has to be an admission on the part of the police that maybe they use excessive force. Secondly, in all security operations of this nature, there is what you call the after-action review. So the police needs to sit down and review the whole evolution of the march and their response from A to Z, and to determine where things might have gotten wrong and what other methods or responses that the police could have deployed. I wouldn't be surprised that the police wouldn't come back to tell us anything, because the culture of law enforcement in this country on the part of any government institution is that they don't seem to owe any answers to anybody.
Okay.
And even when they have taken measures, they don't come back to tell us that in the case of A, B, C, D on this day or that day at so and so place, this is how we've gone about it, and so on and so on. A lot of it is left to conjecture and speculation, which indeed is not good for the public psyche also.
All right. Thank you so much. Pleasure talking to you. As always, Colonel Festus Abuaje is a security analyst helping us put that issue in perspective. The police have also defended the acts of the officers that were deployed yesterday, saying that they did not go contrary to orders that they were given. But from what we have seen, something is amiss. In the meantime, the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, has condemned the policing measures and subsequent incidents that occurred during the demonstration by persons protesting against the mass failures in the recent law school examination. In a statement signed by the General Secretary, John Boedu, the party says it is not convinced that the police had to resort to such use of force and crowd controlling techniques to manage a crowd, mainly of students. The statement said that the police must realize that just like every other Ghanaian, they are also subject to law and ought to give confidence to the populace at all times that in applying the law, they do so fairly to all manner of persons. The party called on the hierarchy of the police to look into the matter and bring persons who are found to have acted unprofessionally to justice to forestall future occurrences of what it described as regrettable incident. Truly a very regrettable incident indeed. Let's swing into the camp of the National Democratic Congress now, the NDC. So the General Secretary of the NDC, Johnson Esedu Nketia, has asked the Ghana Bar Association to make its voice heard on issues of national interest. Esedu Nketia says that in the past, the Ghana Bar Association was vocal on national issues, but its current silence is currently silent, even though a number of issues are happening across the country. He was speaking when the party called on the GBA, that's the Ghana Bar Association in Accra.
I've been around for quite some time. In those students' days who were fighting against military rule at Ampon's era, in, some parts of the revolutionary era and so on. The Ghana Bar Association has been one very important voice in Ghana, a voice of change. Unfortunately, these days, we don't hear you much. And we don't want to believe that you choose your citizens to comment, and other citizens you decide to go on hibernation. And so it is a worry to us. But let me also concede that as we are going round, There are other organizations that from a distance were looking at them as, oh, these people, they are not, why is this thing happening and we are not hearing them? Why is that happening and we are not hearing them? We got to know that the problem is partly ours because you are in your various fields of endeavor and you normally will be concerned about your professional duties and so on. So it takes engagement for us to let the other side know what is happening somewhere. When we met the faith-based organization, we realized that some of the reverend ministers were hearing certain things for the first time. And yet, in our corner, we thought that, why is this happening? And we have heard this. Why is that happening? And we haven't heard this. So we decided that the engagement should be improved so that before we can conclude that you are sleeping, at least we would have knocked the door to find out what you are doing. So we still want to remind you that you have a role to play in ensuring that there is rule of law in the country. Ayawaso West Wogon, for instance, easily comes to mind. Whatever happened there happened. There were issues about the demand for prosecution, demand for justice, and so on. And I thought that that would have been a very important entry point for the Ghana Bar Association to be heard. We have so far not heard. Let me say, I have not heard. Maybe other people have heard.
In other news, the University of Ghana has denied protecting any staff or students who have engaged in sexual harassment and says it will investigate those named in the BBC documentary titled Sex for Grades. Meanwhile, the University of Lagos in Nigeria says it has suspended the lecturer featured in the BBC documentary. The university says it has a zero-tolerance policy toward sexual harassment and it would dismiss any staff against whom evidence of wrongdoing was proven. The university management has also ordered for the shutdown of the staff club cold room mentioned in the documentary for further investigation. This comes shortly after Boniface Igbenohu, who is also a pastor, was suspended by his church. The Foursquare Church, where the lecturer was also a pastor, said in a statement it does not condone sexual misconduct and has distanced itself from Mr. Igbenohu, who his alleged behavior. Let's go to the phone lines now and speak to a feminist and a human rights activist herself, Kina Lekimani. Good afternoon, Kina. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, Martin.
Right, to start with, a lot more women are being, at least from the conversations that has come out as a result of this documentary, it seems as if on social media, lots of people are becoming bold enough to express the kind of things they've gone through. From where you stand, do you think this is the right time to have this conversation, or we are too late as a country?
Well, first of all, I take objection to the question that you've asked me. No, how can it ever be too late in a country where there's such a disparity between the people who have power and the people who don't have power to ever talk about the ways in which the powerful abuse their power, especially on the bodies of women. So it's never too late, and we are not late as a country. Again, if you frame it as we are late, if you ask the question if we are late as a country, then it means that there is nothing that can be done.
No, well, the question...
I would assume, let me finish. You asked me a question.
No, but the question is premised on whether we should have had this conversation much earlier.
Martin, you can't ask me a question and not allow me to respond.
All right, go on.
So I would assume that in a country any country, that its citizens would like to make progress on any problem that they have. So the issue of whether we are late as a country is never a question that should be asked. For so long as on any particular issue, we have victims.
Okay.
So please, let's not have this conversation of whether it's too late. In Ghana, we hardly ever solve our problems. But every day in, day out, we talk about water, we talk about electricity, we talk about roads. We never ask the question, is it too late?
Absolutely. The question was premised on whether or not we should have been having this conversation much, much earlier than now. That was the basis of the question.
Well, the reason we haven't had the conversation much, much earlier than now, and by the way, when you say we having the conversation, you have to realize that women and victims, including some men who are victims, have been having these conversations at least with themselves, at least with other victims for a very long time. When we talk about silence, it's not just that people do not want to talk about it. They are having these conversations in other places that are not open. So those are also conversations that people have been having. As far as I know, we know. This video is not the first time this has come up. This is not the first time we've discussed sexual harassment, whether on air or whether in our homes or whether among our friends. The fact that it's now something that is so boldly in the public space does not mean, nor does it negate all the other ways in which women and their friends, their family members have been talking about it. How we know sexual harassment is prevalent across all areas in our country. So there's also that. The fact that we are people, it's not even an issue of coming into a realization now. We have known this. So again, no, let's not erase the other conversations that have been happening since the first woman was ever harassed ever in any society.
The concern for many has been the fact that there really has never been the evidence to prove these kinds of harassment. It's almost always been a verbal.
I'm glad you brought up the issue of evidence, because this is what I want to say about evidence. In Ghana here, we understand that we do not have any kind of justice system to speak of. We know by the age of 6 that the police are corrupt. It is always interesting to me, and I know why it happens, when people act as though we already have systems of justice for victims, and all people have to do is to pick up and show the evidence. The only time people want to talk about, people want to even pretend as though we have justice systems, when it has to do with issues of sexual harassment, rape, and sexual violence. That's
right.
Number one. Number two, your ability to, as you're asking for evidence, your ability to get evidence has nothing to do with the victim. It has to do with whether on your environment and the systems that you have put in place makes it easy for people to bring you the evidence. But when people speak about sexual harassment, about rape, about sexual violence, we invariably start to victim blame. When you victim blame, you say things like, well, what were they wearing? We already seen victim blame. Some people, I've heard a university lecturer actually saying that some of the students in their psychological makeup, they want to entrap lectures. That is victim blaming, because there's a power differential.
Right. But
So
Kina,
the evidence, if we do not have an evidence, it is because we as a society have not made it near impossible for people to report sexual harassment and to have it dealt with in a way that does not shame them, does not bring shame to their families. Even right now, most Ghanaian parents will not even believe their daughters, but they know it happened. So this is what I have to say about evidence. If it is important for us to have evidence, which it is, then we have to create the systems that generate the evidence. Not that you would hope that when it happens to Amma here or Esinam over there, no, Esinam has enough courage to circumvent the systems of injustice and the systems and a society that is only interested in protecting the powerful.
what
Because
can we
if
do?
you want to make movement, you have to change the environment in which victims are brought forth to talk.
Right. Unfortunately, we'd have to leave it here for now. But thank you for making time to speak with us. Kina Likimani is a feminist and a human rights activist there. Do also let us know what your thoughts are on this particular subject that has been trending right through the weekend up until today on our various social media platforms. The hashtag had been Sex for Grades. But is it really an issue that is pervasive? What do you have to say about it? And the reaction of the university to the story, they are saying that they will prosecute only if they find evidence in that regard. Do share your thoughts with us. We'll be happy to read them. Away from that, though, the police in Old Fadama are seeking public support in tracing the whereabouts of a 17-year-old migrant Charity in Iteki. Charity reportedly migrated from Nkwanta North District capital, Pasa, for greener pastures in the Greater Accra region a few weeks ago. The police say Charity left her Old Fadama residence on Wednesday, the 2nd of October, in search for jobs at Kantamanto at about midday, 12 noon, but has since not returned. Efforts by both the relatives and the police have not yielded any positive results. Anyone who knows the whereabouts of Charity in Teki should please contact the Old Fadama police or the nearest police station to assist. On our MTN video report today, our citizen journalist Awale Abdul Rahim reports on a collapsed classroom block at Nkwanta South in the OT region.
This is the current state of Kwesi DA Primary. Kwesi is a village under Nkwanta South Municipal in the OT region. School has reopened. Now this is the current state of the classroom. You could imagine how the learners will go through. So I therefore call for the authority concerned to come to the aid of these future Ghanaians. This is how the classrooms looks like. No furniture, sharing classroom with the animals, all the walls broken, everything has been disorganized. This is your citizen journalist, Abdul Rahim Igwe, reporting from Kwesi, Nkwanta South, OT region.
All right, so do also send us your video report via WhatsApp number 055-1433-044, 055-1433-044. We'll be happy to hear you and put that video out. Time now to take a quick breather. When we return, we have some more stories for you. Stay with us.
TV at Tikusi. I'm Bernie TV. Ubenya TV, Papa. We also will refer to trade enterprise. And I'm telling you first, I'm going Franco and go to Breast. See, how you cry and Faka, Ubatu was. Now, Google. No download Franco app or download there. TVs now, laptops now, phones now. Open sign CV and up a sound sign. Open sign is say 32. So the location, address you. Okay. Yeah. Ain't to be on my phone. Oh, and it's coming home.
Hello, good afternoon. Franco Trading.
I'm a patron in your order, Signis TVCC. So, whoop a phone, Papa, TV, Papa, and a laptop, Papa, and Franco Trading.
Aya woti ya wo be mem ana ya imo hyehyew wo sensu fitaa bi firi mu ba gugu nso ntentem ana ya gugu nso a na emu ache woti ya wo sabe wa ya ase esese wo bobrim se bi ana prostate ana hu aba ha wo aya na onsa na asa wo na ya titiri waposo tutu wo nante a na wa ye dududu aya ase bibi ne na mo widie mu e bia na stroke yade na ebo wo nkaye endpoint homeopathic clinic e wo nimdi o de bebo awo Endpoint, our Accra, Spinters Road, Shell Signboard, Tema, Committee 22, Koanaso Hotel Echi, Kumasi Chronoma Boya Angel School Complex. Accra Day, Endpoint, our Anaji Queen of Peace, inside, Anaji Police Station Echi Pe. Techimine, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, our Hensa, and Nick Just Bro Filling Station, and a D. Shenimu. For Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, our 0244-867-068.
Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
From 1985 to now, we have enjoyed 30 years of the World Wide Web with all of its dial-up delight, its marvelous mail services, searchable Yahoos and YouTubes. But for all we receive from the ever-expanding internet, it has limitations. You won't get success by simply scrolling. You won't reach the next level sitting at your desk. Sometimes you've got to show up to experience live to lead. You've got to be there. Be in the room with renowned leadership coach John C. Maxwell, Marcus Buckingham, global researcher and thought leader, Rachel Hollis, bestseller author, Angela Henricks, former senior vice president at Apple, Chris Hogan, everyday millionaires maker, and Nana Ansakwa IV, transformational chief. Become the leader you want to be. Be in the room. Register now.
Are you ready to take your musical career to the highest level? Ghana's first and biggest reality singing competition, Mentor, is back. If you've got what it takes to wow our judges, then step up, because this is your chance to fame and fortune in the new Mentor Season 8. You stand the chance of winning a 2-bedroom house and, of course, the bragging rights plus other fantastic prizes. Northern Sector auditions will go down on 9th October 2019 at Radach Lodge, Tamale. Auditions for the Middle Belt will be happening live on the 11th October 2019 at the TV3 premises at Sukwakumasi. Catch the Southwestern auditions on 16th October 2019 at Connect FM, Paipano, Takradi. And finally, Southeastern auditions will be going down on 18th and 19th October 2019 at the TV3 Executive Theatre at Desawe Kanda. To enter, log on to 3news.com, follow details to make payment, and get a code to complete the form before 5th October 2019. Or just show up and join the queue. Remember, don't forget your code. TV3 Mentor Season 8. 4 mentors and 12 mentees. Just one winner. Mentor takes you higher.
Thank you very much for staying with us. Let's do business now. And Ghana is exploring the regional market as well as positioning itself to become a major exporter of reliable and competitive priced electricity in the ECOWAS sub-region. The opening of the 5th Ghana Renewable Energy Fair and National Energy Symposium in Accra, Senior Minister Yao Safumafu noted it will help contribute to the regional economic inclusiveness strategy.
The Ghana Renewable Energy Fair, in its 5th year, has been instrumental in facilitating inter-stakeholder discussions on topical renewable energy and energy efficiency technologies and policy issues. At the opening ceremony in Accra, Senior Minister Yao Osafumafu said Ghana will help in the ECOWAS economic inclusiveness strategy.
Today, Ghana is investing heavily in transmission infrastructure to link our power market to the Burkina Faso and the other Sahelian power markets in our quest to exporting the excess power. We would continue to pursue this path, which will create the desired opportunity for both conventional and renewable energy players in the country.
The senior minister added government remains committed to the promotion of renewable energy in the country.
We are negotiating with our development partners to provide funding support to connect key government facilities, including the ministries, municipalities, departments and agencies, to solar power. This would reduce government's burden of having to pay the utility bills for these establishments and increase the contributions of renewable energy in the energy mix.
The Ghana Renewable Energy Fair has over the years helped in identifying opportunities for investment in the utilization of the country's renewable energy resources. A participant at the fair lauded Ghana's renewable energy policy.
Our new one is Central University. They even want now the whole government and government agency to go solar. We have put in a proposal for 50 megawatt of those rooftop. So we are expecting a positive feedback to make it real. We have also put a proposal and expression of interest to put solar on the Jubilee House. The example comes from the top. So we think if we realize that project at the Jubilee House, many people will go solar.
The fair has over the years featured an increased diversity of local and international speakers, participants and exhibitors.
The Microfinance and Small Loan Center, MASLOC, has disbursed over 100 million cedis to more than 67,000 people in the past 2 years to grow and expand their businesses. 72% of the loans were given out to women as part of government policy to empower women. Here's a report by Benjamin Edu.
The Chief Executive Officer of MASLOC, Stephen Amoa, spoke to TV3 after presenting loan facilities to 40 women groups in Kumasi. A total of 1,000 women from Kumasi Central Market and other markets in the metropolis received 1,000 cedis each in the second round of disbursement. The beneficiaries are expected to pay within 6 months at 1% interest monthly.
Over 700 million wealth applications only this year. And this year, we have given only about 70 million. So we still have a lot to do. Besides the amount that we have disbursed under Kufuado, it's unprecedented in terms of cash loans.
The Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei Mensah, said MASLOC had provided direct cash transfers and business needs to poor households for wealth creation. The Ashanti Regional Director of MASLOC said the region has achieved 85% recovery rate and encouraged beneficiaries to help sustain the scheme. MASLOC was set up in 2006 as a defensive mechanism to provide funds to SMEs.
All right, just before we go, though, fruit juice manufacturer Blue Skies Company Limited is worried that the invasion of the black bacteria syndrome on mango farms is hampering the supplies of mangoes to the factory. According to them, the situation is threatening the survival of Ghana's mango industry. This came to light when members of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce paid a working visit to the factory. There is more in this report.
Was established in 1997 by a British entrepreneur, Anthony Powles, to produce fresh cut fruits and freshly squeezed juices. The company procures 70% of its raw materials from countries because Ghanaian farmers are unable to supply the needed fresh fruits. Blue Skies fears the local supply of mangoes will decline in the next 5 years. This is attributed to the invasion of the black bacteria syndrome, the BBS, which hampers the supply of mangoes to the factory and threatens the survival of Ghana's mango industry.
We need to invest into research, identify what can deal with it. There are chemicals that can deal with black bacteria, but they are very expensive. Other countries have done it. Individuals cannot have the resources to do that. But if we can do it, government can come in with their support and make sure that we get these chemicals. We can drive away bacteria black spot.
President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Apia Nana Dankawosu, commended management for the impact on the mango industry. He also said the planting for exports and rural development, planting for food and jobs, one village, one dam, one district, one factory policies need to be integrated to ensure adequate supply of raw materials to feed the country's factories.
We as a chamber has also come up with a value-added section, and that we are taking members and private sector through just to see how best they will understand, because we don't want them to sell their products in a raw state. If you do that, the prices are on the lower side and you don't get much from it.
The team also visited the HPW Fresh Dry Limited, another locally produced fresh juice company.
That's it for Business on Midday Live. When we return, we'll bring you the latest in the world of sports. Stay with us. Well, before we swing to business, let's do to sports, let's do some other stories now. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has assured management of the Princess Marie Hospital in Accra of digitizing its operations to reduce the turnaround time. He gave the assurance when management of the hospital called on him.
The Vice President expressed concern about inadequate logistics and overstretched facilities at the hospital and pledged to support the expansion of the hospital, which was established 94 years ago.
I would like to see this hospital digitized. And so, as you know, we are working on digitization. Kolebu has been digitized, 37 has been digitized. PML will have to be digitized, and we will work on that.
He presented 10,000 cedis and some assorted items to the children at the hospital. The Vice President made another stopover at the Autism Center in Accra to interact with the management and staff. Director of the center, Sewa Kweno, called for support for the center.
Anyone who hasn't heard of autism, because I'm usually out there, we do a lot of awareness. We've been to almost all the regions of Ghana, doing training for parents, doing training for teachers.
Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia was elated about the performance of the management.
As a country, we have not really done well when it comes to children with special needs. We're really not done well. And I think it is time for a change, because these are some of the most vulnerable children. And I think it is important for government to do what it can to support these children.
Now, the chairperson of the National Commission for Civic Education, Josephine Nkrumah, has underscored the need for Ghanaians to be sensitive to the civic responsibilities of keeping the environment healthy for sustainable development. She says corrupt practices that tend to destroy the environment must be resisted to safeguard the future. Here's a report by Benjamin Edu.
Governance in Kumasi, the third in a series of dialogues, was part of the accountability, rule of law and anti-corruption program implemented by the NCCE. Josephine Nkrumah was not happy about the way the illegal mining operations have destroyed the environment.
As a country, we continue to grapple with many environmental issues: galamsey, sanitation, deforestation, wanton destruction of our water bodies, e-waste disposal, air and noise pollution, and marine environmental pollution. And this continues to be a challenge.
Head of the EU delegation pointed out good environmental governance is critical to addressing climate. Convener of the Media Coalition Against Galamsey, Ken Ashigbe, underscored the need for increased advocacy to reduce galamsey in the country.
It is about time that we disband this ad hoc committee and rather empower the constitutionally mandated bodies to be able to carry this on. I would say that we have won some of the battles, but there are a lot more that has to be done, and one of the fundamental and cardinal ones is to be able to carry all citizens along. Ways to deal with them.
This is still Midday Live on TV3. Sports is next with Yao Ofusulabi.
Welcome to another season of tradition, pride and heritage, as for the first time a bevy of 16 black, proud and beautiful ladies welcome you to Ghana's Most Beautiful 2019.
Who are your heroes in your hometowns and communities? The ladies know who they are. You are going to be in awe of sheer Ghanaian beauty. So make a date for GMB 2019 every Sunday at 8 p.m. exclusively on TV3. Also streaming live on Facebook, or catch every bit of the moment live at TV3 Studio B for free. You can download the GMB app and text the name of your favorite contestant across network and push your region to success. GMB 2019, black and proud.
GNB 2019 is brought to you by Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil, Ideal Milk, Ghana's favorite, Carnival Strawberry, GTP Still Timeless, Camel Antiseptic, Cerelac, Darling Hair, Pro Man and Pro Woman from Ernest Chemists, and
Global Wings Travel and Tours.
Everything you need to know. Captivating. Reliable. Credible and breaking news. All at your fingertips.
Who's found Asamoah Gyan? Super finish!
Being on top of the news has never been easy. Visit us at www.3news.com for all your reliable news. 3 News, news at your fingertips.
This week on The Assignment.
in Sekendi Takrade, one woman is shaping grassroots football. It is a pursuit of no guts, no glory, and an attempt to live a dream of giant proportions. You have seen our introductory focus on Colts football coach Patience Agri. Now we bring you the complete story. This October, Juliet Bewa travels the western region of Ghana to highlight one woman's obsession with football. The Patience Agri story, airing on TV3.
The Assignment shows on Tuesdays at 10:30 p.m., Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m., and 8 a.m. every Thursday.
Hello everyone, you know the name. EB family, Charlie. We are more than guess what? TV3 Mentor is back, and this time around it's going to be more than So if you're in Kumasi, you are in Takrade, Tamale, Accra, prepare for the audition. If you wanna be a mega star, if you wanna be like EB family, Charlie, show us up for music and you are going to be because TV3 Mentor. You go take you so high. Oh, come on, some for my team now. And I'm in Brio.
Hi, good afternoon. Time now for sports here on Media Live on TV3. Now, the Bureau of the FIFA Council has extended the mandate of the GFA Normalization Committee to enable the NC supervise the upcoming GFA elections. Now, the second mandate of the Normalization Committee expired on the 30th of September 2019. However, in view of the upcoming GFA elections, FIFA has extended the Normalization Committee's mandate up to November 17, 2019 to enable it complete the process of electing a new president and an executive committee. We're now still on the Football Association and its upcoming elections this morning here on TV3 New Day. Nanaya Amposa, who's one of the aspirants of the Ghana Football Association presidency, came through with his plans for the FA.
My plan has 3 cardinal points. Right. First, restoring the integrity of the sport to be able to attract all and sundry corporate Ghana, corporate world into it. The second thing is to develop the foundation of our football, which is grassroots football, on which we will build the commercial entity of the league, that's commercializing our leagues, on which forms the economic fulcrum of the our football economy. Right. Then we can build a superstructure of Black Stars on that. So those are the 3 cardinal points of mine.
How do you intend to work on that foundation of football that you just spoke in, the second point? And how are you looking
Coast football is not dead, but it's suffering, and we need to resuscitate it. When we say Coast football vis-a-vis academy football, the difference is simple. Right. Academy is the boarding school. Coast is a day school. But what do these Coast clubs need? Basically, pitches. I have said that the players who come to play at coast level, 2nd division, 3rd division, 4th division, they do not ask for salaries, they do not ask for a place to put their head or even food to eat. All they require is good pitches and equipment. So I, as an FA president, I'm going to prioritize our funding in terms of acquiring equipment to go around the regions constructing pitches. I have said that even though FIFA says that they are against undue interference in our game, they also call for cooperation between the association and government. That's why there is a standard cooperation agreement. We need to liaise and align our developmental agenda with government.
Well, now still on the FA, and disqualified Ghana Football Association's presidential aspirant Wilfred Osekweku Palmer has submitted his appeal to the GFA. Now, the Tema Youth president was disqualified by on the grounds of breaching Article 33, Clause 5 of the GFA General Regulations, which stipulates clubs to pay percentage of the transfer of players. Now, Palmer was also disqualified following the ruling of the Ethics Committee of the association in December 2017 for comments he made on the Black Stars' inability to qualify for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. His appeal is to challenge the two decisions of the vetting committee to thwart his ambition as GFA president. Well, our Ghana's senior national female team, the Black Queens, earlier on Monday had their mandatory training at the Kasarani Stadium in Nairobi ahead of the return leg and the CAF Olympic qualifier. Mercy Tego Kwaku and her team have it all to do after the first leg ended in a 0-0 draw at the Accra Sports Stadium, and believes they are ready to make Ghana proud this afternoon.
First leg, we saw so many mistakes that I believe we've corrected them. I'm so happy that we've gotten a deputy skipper who is Portia Boachi. And she's here with us and she has the strength, no injury, and I believe that the little tidbit that I've given them, including herself, they are going to utilize them judiciously so that tomorrow you walk out of the station with smiles.
Well, all the best to Mercy Tego and the Black Queens there. But that's all the sports here on Midday Live on TV3. International news is up next.
In international news, President Donald Trump has threatened to destroy Turkey's economy if the country goes off limits following his surprise decision to pull U.S. forces out of northeastern Syria. In a series of angry tweets, Trump defended his move, which could open the way for Turkey to launch an attack on Kurdish fighters across the border. The withdrawal was heavily criticized by Mr. Trump's Republican allies. Kurdish forces were key U.S. allies in defeating Islamic State in Syria, but Turkey regards the Kurdish militia, which dominated the U.S. allied Syria Democratic Forces, and has described them as terrorists. Only 100,000 displaced people remain in Ethiopian camps. Ethiopia's President Sahle Work told lawmakers at the opening session of Parliament on Monday that the government had in 1 year managed to return home most of the 2 million internally displaced people. Ethnic conflict in the country, which intensified after Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed came into office in April 2018, had forced many people out of their homes. President Sahle told the annual joint session of the House of People's Representatives and the House of the Federation that only 100,000 people remained in camps. Up next is entertainment news. All right, in entertainment news this afternoon, contestants in Ghana's Most Beautiful took turns to share their views on the controversial comprehensive sexuality education, which generated some heated debate across the country last week.
To teach a new curriculum that's going to tell the children more about sex and sexuality, where would you stand?
All 10 remaining contestants had equal opportunities to share their thoughts on the purported introduction of sex education and the level at which it should be introduced. Making the first appearance on stage for the night was Upper East Regional Representative Aisha, who was tasked to assist her nephew through a school assignment on sex education. She noted teachers and parents have a shared responsibility in educating their children.
These days, children are very curious. But as you teach the child sex education, you are inculcating in the child some values in your home. Every home, every parent has values. And I'm sure that the more you teach the child and you win the mind of the child, then you win the heart of the child as well.
Having been a victim, Oti Region's Nana is all for the introductions of CSE in schools. However, she believes basic school pupils are too young for such information. Hence, its introduction at the secondary school level would be of great value. For SAR, comprehensive sexuality education at an early stage will go a long way to keep young people informed when faced with any form of harassment.
Most people don't even know that if I'm talking to Johnny and I touch Johnny's breast or Johnny's buttocks, I am harassing Johnny.
You can't touch my own.
No, I won't. I won't harass you. If all these things are taught and are encouraged in our societies, I believe it's going to help.
At the end of the 3-hour presentation, Aisha emerged star performer, while Northeast Region's Yaya was adjudged best costumed for the night.
I feel super excited. I don't know what to say. I want to say thank you to God Almighty for making this possible. I was just being real. I just told myself it was going to be a discussion. I was just going to talk from my heart. I wasn't going to write any script, to memorize anything, but I would just speak from my heart, and that is what I did.
The show ended in jubilation as the remaining 10 ladies got off the eviction hook.
All right, so we look forward to Sunday when these ladies will come back again with something really, really interesting. That's it for the bulletin. My name is Martin Esedudati. Thank you very much for watching. There is more news on our website, 3news.com. Do have a good afternoon. As always, stay positive. Bye for now.
From the biggest investor to the petty trader, the stocks and commodities market affect every business and city in the economy. On Biz Brief, our business is to get you up-to-the-minute updates on the local and global markets at the end of every day's trading and its implications on your business and investments. Biz Brief, timely, relevant, and accurate.
Biz Brief shows Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. on TV3. Log on to www.3news.com for more news and updates of our major stories. Join us on Facebook 3newsgh for live streaming and comments on our page. Like and follow us on Twitter at 3newsgh and at 3sportsgh. Like our pictures on Instagram, TV3 Network. If you missed our live shows, watch a playback on YouTube, TV3GH. TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
Elena's Ghost.
Brought to you by
Cerelac, now with Iron Plus. Big nutrition for small tummies.
The entire truth, and then you'll sign it. Is that it? Yes? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes. I don't want to see my daughter die. Doctor, do something for the love of God.
Now get out of here. Your very presence alone upsets Elena. Now go, and don't you dare come back.
Well, how do you like it?
Huh? She looks identical to the old damn hag. What if those are the guys who kidnapped Latonia? Well, they're gonna see. I'm gonna end this once and for all.
I care about you, milady. If I can't love you anymore, I at least want to protect you. I want to be someone important in your life.
Don't take Elena's son from her. It's the only thing that she's got left. Get away from me.
The house of my half-sister. Huh. Once upon a time, I had a dream that she invited me over for dinner, and then we took a photo.
Dulce has photos of Margot.
Of course. The photos. Yes, yes, in the photos she had a lot of similar features that were close to mine, but I'm very sure that on the inside, she and I were not the same at all, no.
Oh, well, all right, but you have the same nice and happy charm that my aunt had.
Margot was your aunt? Wow. Great aunt, right?
Uh-huh.
So that makes me your half-great aunt as well.
Well, that's what it looks like. Aunt Ruth. I know that we're gonna get along very well.
Wow, Aunt Ruth, that sounds so strange. Nobody has ever called me aunt, and even less great aunt. I just felt a little older all of a sudden, you know?
Fine, but it's true. You look so young and pretty, so I'll simply call you Ruth. I'll be your right hand in whatever you need.
All right, that sounds good. I don't know, but this is all like some kind of dream, and I'm just scared to wake up at any moment.
Well, it's not a dream, Ruth. I believe that we're doing the right thing in order to honor Margot by giving you the place where you belong in this family.
I'm just shocked. I'm shocked. This house just it seems to scream out greed.
Let me show you the rest of the house, huh?
Oh,
great.
excellent.
And then to your bedroom. I prepared it myself.
Very good. Let's go. Yes? Let's go.
Come this way. Let's go.
Which way?
I'm sure the brilliant detective, Mr. Alan Martin, wasn't expecting a move like this.
To find Ruth Merchant. Is that a joke, then?
No. Actually, she is the woman who was protecting Elena. She found her and helped her out, and then brought her back to me.
Mrs. Margot Oskategi spent years sending very generous checks to a woman by the name of Ruth Merchant. Peñalos's father, and afterward his son, actually pocketed all of those checks. Then they falsely endorsed some of them. I've done nothing but think about that woman, and now you actually ask me to find her.
Yes, Martin. We need to find her. She's Elena's family, and she's also a very good woman. She's a woman with dignity.
And she's also someone who could fight for her share or more of Elena's inheritance. But I'll look for her, and hopefully she's as good as you say she is. You know what I'm saying?
Mother, you need to wake up and tell everyone the truth. I can't find a way to help you.
Daniela. Daniela, my daughter. I don't want you to suffer because of me. You need to find the light.
Not until justice is served, Mother. My sister took my life and is taking others. She wants to kill you.
God protects me, my darling. Thanks to him, I've survived until now.
But you need to tell the truth. Justice needs to be served. They need to give Elena back her son. And you need to live in peace.
Yes. Don't suffer anymore, dear. I'll do it. I promise that I will, Daniela. Daniela,